What is up, everybody? This is Rocket TV here, and welcome to the Hunter's Guide to Alana. So here we have Alana, as you can see, at 6 stars, orange fusion with all 5 pieces of gear, all fully enchanted. Notable stats that she has: her physical attack is high at 4,000. Her physical crit rating is only middling at 960. A lot of the higher physical crit characters will have around 1400 crit. Her physical pierce is also only decent at a little over 600. Her physical hit bonus is decent at 240, and then her defense stats are all moderate to moderately low for a midline, except for her magic armor, which is pretty decent for an 80 character at 890. Also, she does have some life steal, but it's only a marginal amount. So that's it for her stats. As for her abilities, her ultimate ambush deals a large amount of physical damage, which ignores armor. The first hit will target the, typically, at least so far from what I've noticed, the lowest health enemy, and it will then do a second attack, which splashes and hits nearby enemies. This will do roughly 7.3 thousand damage for each hit with only Alana in the party. Any other physical attack damage buffers will increase that damage. However, if you have debuffs like armor debuffs or attack speed buffs, that does not affect her ultimate since it only scales off of her physical damage. Next up is her energy shield. Every time Alana kills somebody, she puts up an energy shield with 5 layers. Each of these layers can block an attack, and as you can see at level 91, the skill blocks 4,600 damage. Every time one of these layers is peeled away, Alana gets 80 energy. She is also immune to crowd control spells while using the energy shield. Her third ability, Physical Dart, does not come with a physical damage buff, but does reduce the target's armor by 273. And then there is her fourth ability, which, just like Gale, increases the attack of all allies. And here it is by 364. So as you can see, her toolkit leads towards a heavily attack damage composition. So let's go to see some arena and campaign footage, and I'll tell you about her pros and cons. For Alana's first pro, she is an extremely potent physical attack support. So she does have 2 abilities which, or by extension, increase physical damage to opponents. The first is her ultimate, which does a flat 364 attack damage buff to the whole team. And the second is that poison dart, which you can see here on Elric with that purple broken shield. So he is receiving extra physical damage from attacks right now. Alana's second major positive is that she comes with a game-changing ultimate, which you'll see in this fight. Now, if Alana is able to get off her ult, she will go for one character, deal a large amount of physical damage, and then attack a second time and do splash damage to characters around her initial target. Now, if this goes off and she's able to kill an enemy, then she will put up her second ability, which is the energy shield. Now, the energy shield both protects her quite a bit, and here you'll see the attack, and then she kills, and then she is going to reapply her energy shield, which she already had up. But each layer of the energy shield both provides protection from attacks and feeds you energy, which she can then use to chain into a second ultimate, as you saw right there. As for Alana's cons, she has an extremely slow charging ult. Now, this is a factor, particularly in arena fights, where she does not have a lot of survivability, which feeds into her second con. She is very squishy. Unless you have a team that is there to support Alana, she most likely will not get her off her ult in an arena context. And in the campaign mode, she also just does not put out a lot of damage except for in her ult, which leads to the third con. She has a very low damage output without the ult. She does have great physical attack buffs in her fourth ability and in her second ability's armor debuff. But unless she's throwing out an ult, Alana herself does not really do a lot of damage. Another negative that Alana has is that she has no specific raid or dojo utility beyond her AD buff. Now, a lot of characters, just like Riley, whom I mentioned in the previous Hunter's Guide, have a lot of ability to either do CC or be a large component to beat a raid boss or the female dojo, for example. But Alana here is very useful, but at the same time, she's not going to be the go-to person to defeat the female dojo. So she doesn't add any additional utility beyond her AD buffing characteristics. Which leads to her final con, is that she's very one-dimensional. This AD buff is basically all Alana brings to the table, and the ult. So unless those the ult and the AD buff are working out for you, she is more or less dead weight and not contributing anything to the team. Overall, I would rate Alana at 3 stars, with one huge caveat. That being that she has a lot of potential for being powerful in future content. Now, the reason I state that is that right now, as it stands, our only energy buff is through Lucius, who only targets the highest energy character on the team, which is almost never going to be Alana, at least for the first time he cycles through that skill. However, second time he cycles through that skill, it might target Alana, but by that time, especially in an arena context, the game is already over. So, if we happen to see characters in the future who either do a team-wide energy buff or who target the lowest energy individual, we might see Alana rise up in usefulness. As for where you can get Alana, she is rather easy to get for 3-star hero. Although you cannot get her from gold chests, you can get her from diamond chests. You can get her from Chapter 2, Chapter 5, and Chapter 8 heroic dungeons. The great thing about the Chapter 8 heroic dungeon also is that it does drop Wellspring Waters, so you are not only farming for Alana stones, you are also having a chance to get 1 or 2 fragments for an item that you're probably going to need down the road. Final question, is Alana worth investing in? I'd have to answer that with a resounding maybe. If you already have a great team set up and are looking for another piece of that puzzle to maybe supplement your team, or if you're looking to the future, then she can be a great addition to your team. However, if you're just starting out and wanting somebody to stick in your team that's going to be able to fill a lot of roles, I would caution against investing in Alana, since especially in the late game, her usefulness can be a bit hindered by all the heavy AoE damage and CC that she can encounter, which will nullify her ult. That is it for this Hunter's Guide on Alana. Let me know down in the comments section if you want to see other heroes or who you would like to see next, or if there's any other features on a hero that you want to see in these Hunter's Guides. Other than that, please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the videos. And until next time, this has been Rocket TV, and thanks for watching. Have a great day. See ya.